The recent tragedy in Soweto, specifically in the Naledi community, has brought both national and local attention to the serious and ongoing issue of food safety in township areas. On the 6th of October, 2024, 5 young children lost their lives after allegedly consuming a snack, colloquially known as brown dash, from a Spaza shop owned by foreign nationals. The children, identified as Monica Sabetuani, aged 6, Isago Maboti, aged 8, Zinkli Masalela, aged 7, Njabulome Simango, aged 7, and Karabo Rampu, aged 8, suffered severe symptoms of food poisoning shortly after eating the snack, including stomach cramps, vomiting, and drowsiness. 4 of the children died while receiving medical care, and the 5th was declared dead upon arrival at a local clinic. This heart-wrenching incident also left another child, Katliho Oliphant, aged 7, in critical condition at Lezedi Private Hospital, where his survival is seen as essential for the investigation. Authorities are hoping that Katliho can provide vital details about the circumstances that led to this tragedy. The community's response has been one of both grief and outrage. Angered by the deaths, local residents have blamed foreign-owned Spaza shops, leading to widespread unrest in the area. On the day of the incident, several Spaza shops were looted and closed down, including the one where the fatal snacks were allegedly purchased. Daniel, the Ethiopian national who operates the implicated Spaza shop, has denied any wrongdoing. He pointed out that the shop had passed health inspections, although forensic tests on the snacks are still underway to confirm the cause of death. For now, the police have cordoned off the premises to preserve the integrity of the investigation. Gauteng's MEC for Finance and Economic Development, Lebogang Meli, along with other officials, has urged the community to remain calm and to let the legal process take its course. Meli announced that he would be visiting the affected areas in Soweto, including Naledi and Tladi, where residents had taken matters into their own hands, forcefully shutting down foreign-owned businesses. He emphasized the need for restraint and discouraged acts of vigilante justice, asking residents to wait for official results from the investigation. However, Meli did acknowledge the broader concerns about food safety and pledged to ramp up the Fix Your Business campaign, which aims to regulate and monitor businesses in townships. The tragedy has further inflamed already existing tensions between local communities and foreign-owned Spaza shops, which have been a point of contention for some time. Residents, including community leaders like Nomasonto Inkwanyana from Operation Dudula, have expressed frustration over the continued presence of undocumented foreign nationals running local businesses. Inkwanyana noted that similar incidents had occurred in the past, with complaints of substandard or expired food products being sold. She accused the government of negligence, claiming that food inspectors had failed to properly regulate the operations of these businesses, and urged for the arrest of landlords who rent their properties to undocumented immigrants. This sentiment was echoed by local residents like Davis Magalego, who voiced their concerns about the quality of food being sold in their communities. There is a deep-seated fear among many that their children's safety is at risk, and residents have made it clear that they want all foreign-owned Spaza shops shut down. The calls for action have also been backed by advocacy groups such as Not in My Name International. Themba Mazango, the organization's Secretary-General, described the deaths as a wake-up call for South Africans, urging them to take charge of their own communities by boycotting businesses owned by undocumented foreigners and reclaiming control over the township economy. Adding to the intensity of the public outcry, Minister in the Presidency, Khumbudzo Ntshavheni, speaking at a post-cabinet briefing, placed responsibility on South Africans to make more informed decisions about where they shop. Ntshavheni recalled an earlier attempt to regulate foreign-owned Spaza shops during her time as Minister of Small Business Development, which was blocked in court. She argued that if South Africans want safer communities, they should refuse to buy from shops that do not meet their standards or provide proof of registration with local authorities. Nshavini highlighted the importance of community action, but also reminded citizens that the government's ability to enforce these changes is limited by legal rulings. The deaths of these children, however, are part of a broader and more alarming trend of food safety issues in Gauteng, particularly in townships. Since February 2024, over 200 cases of food poisoning have been reported across the province, many of which have involved children. While these numbers highlight the gravity of the situation, they also raise important questions about the lack of enforcement and accountability in food safety regulations, particularly in disadvantaged communities. This ongoing crisis underscores the disproportionate impact on black townships, where regulations are seemingly ignored or not enforced to the same standard as in other areas. As the investigation continues, the affected families are left in a state of mourning, awaiting both justice and answers. The funeral services for the children are expected to take place later this week, although post-mortem results are still pending. The case also brings to mind a similar incident in 2023, when 2 children in Naledi died under similar circumstances after allegedly consuming food from a local Spaza shop. In that instance, however, no clear connection was found between the food and the children's deaths, and the case remains unresolved. Johannesburg's health authorities have promised thorough investigations, with Major General Fred Kakana assuring the families that the police would keep them updated throughout the process. Yet, past delays in releasing forensic results, as in the 2023 case, have left families skeptical about whether they will ever get the closure they need. As the investigation progresses, forensic results will likely determine the next steps in this growing crisis, but for now, the community is left to mourn and grapple with the aftermath of this heartbreaking loss. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more updates.